And I'm going to start with the screen share so everybody can see. So, welcome everybody to this wonderful call. This is Team Headstrong, and I'm excited to just have you guys on this team and to just share some updates and everything that's been going on, as I always do every week. We will keep these calls every week on Sunday. Just because Sunday is like a really good day. Everybody's going in for work next week, tomorrow, and you grinding down from the last week. So what better day to share some updates? So everyone, I am excited to begin this call. So as you know, we are Team Headstrong. We are in the business of creating strong-minded individuals. If you guys haven't already seen our actual team video, our logo call, it's something that I created and is dear to my heart. As you see, you have the logo starting with the colors, and what that signifies is that every color, race, creed, nation, whoever you are, you're going to come together with helping hands, making sure that you achieve all the goals and the dreams that you achieve. And that's one of the strong cultures that I do, because it doesn't matter who you are, what you've gone through. We're all people in the end of the day. We all have lives. We all have families. We all have goals. So why are you subject to be discriminated against just because of your color or whatever else? So yeah, this is an actual video I made of our team and everything. So without further ado, I'm gonna start the call. So what will be discussed? I'm always excited, as you can tell. So we're gonna go over some team announcements, a couple announcements. We're gonna go over some company announcements. It's not very many. He's pretty much still working in the background on a few things that I can't even discuss yet. So I'm excited to tell you, but then I can't tell you. I hate it. But when you hear it, you're going to be excited. So I'll definitely, you guys will always be first to know about everything, because I'm pretty much, always in his ear, like, this is what I would like you to do. This is, and of course, team training. So some more team training. What we're going to go over for the team training is offline marketing. And why offline marketing? Because this is an offline business. If you are not marketing this business offline, you are missing out on so much money. So I'm going to go over some offline marketing. So again, the company announcements and the team announcements are going to be very short. We're going to really dig into team training today, because I want to make sure, everybody's on the same page. Everybody can start building. Everybody can start being and achieving the goals that they want to achieve. And of course, we're also going to do some mindset training. Mindset training, obviously, because without the right mind, you are not going to go anywhere. It does not matter how much team training, how many team calls you are on. If your mindset is not where it needs to be, you will not achieve the goals that you were looking for, because you can't change anything if your mind is the same. So some team announcements. Team calls are now on the website. They are located in the back office tab. I will drop the password for the back office tab once I finish really putting in the videos and getting it all, acclimated. I did that because some people like to just kind of steal your videos, and and this will also help everybody keep track of who's following along and who's staying up to date. So that way, if you can't get to any call, now you can just log on, and you'll just have to put in the password once, and then you just log in with your Facebook or email, password, whatever. I won't have access to your Facebook. I won't have access to nothing. It's all yours. And you can log in. You can see all the team calls. And I'm going to start actually putting some back office videos for you to navigate the back office, so you can send people who are new, so you can stop getting the same questions. Where's this at? How do I upgrade? What is this? What is that? Now you can just send people there and you're good to go. So this is something I've been working on for about a couple of weeks. Well, again, I've only been doing this for about 12 days. So, give me a little time, guys. So new videos are going to be uploaded as well. It's going to be some mindset training videos. I'm actually heading out today for a 7-figure earner retreat. So I'm excited, yay. So there's going to be some videos and things like that. And I also want to send a good congratulations to all the members who upgraded, whether you're elite affiliate, elite entrepreneur or elite plus, it doesn't matter. Pat yourself on the back because you decided to, invest in yourself, not just in a business, not in just your future, but in yourself. Because if you don't invest in yourself, you're not going to be, fully invested into your future. And also the team special is ending soon. Boo! I know, right? Gotta end. And then I'm just letting you know this will not be coming back. So if you want to get in and you want to get these goodies, make sure you get it. And I will actually be shipping out because I was supposed to ship out everything last week. But the leads took a little bit longer than what they were supposed to. So in order to be fair, everybody who upgrades within this promotion, you will definitely get it at the end of the promotion. It will just all come in one swoop. Makes it easier for everybody. Boom, everybody will start getting their kits. So company announcements, it's not a lot. Like I said, company announcement is new promo that they have going on. I'm excited, which is the double postcards for any auto ship forever. Meaning, as long as you're in the company, as long as you're doing something, as long as you're in the company, you're active, and you have an active auto ship for those postcards, you're going to get double the postcards forever, like forever. And this bad boy ends tomorrow. So if you're looking to get some postcards, you might want to get in there. Also, another thing is that the free member lockout is coming soon. So what does that mean? That means everybody who is free into this joint, you have to either start considering paying that $9.95. It is $9.95. That is 5 and 4 ones and 95 pennies, or 2 quarters, 4 dimes, and a nickel. Whatever you scratch and get. You can recycle, you can sell books, $10, that's 2 $5 pizzas at Little Caesars and a breadstick. Like, you can do this. If you're really looking forward to actually making money in this company, this is probably one of the easiest things because it's so versatile, so many things that you can do. So what he's going to be doing is actually locking you out, meaning you won't have a link. You won't have access to a few things. It's just going to keep telling you to upgrade. So you had your chance to look at the tour. You had your chance to look at the training, back office, and everything. You're free. Free, unfortunately, you cannot just join this for free and expect to get paid automatically. No. You have to invest. You have to invest time. You have to invest financially. It's $10. And people are like, well, I don't have $10. I'm pretty sure you do. I have a primary business. I have a marketing company. This bad boy takes about $1,200 of my dollars every single month to run because I have software. I have things that I have, and then I'm also into this network marketing, which is another $150. Plus, I have some auto ships that I have going on, and then I have another network marketing company. And everybody's like, well, hey, you make money. It's good. No, it's not that. It's the fact that I go into something and I have an intent to win. If I'm going to put my money in something, I'm going to make sure, like hell, I'm going to quadruple that bad boy. Rather, if I'm going in for 10, I'm going to expect that $40 back. So if you go in for 10 and you refer 2 people who are elite or elite plus, and they go in, that's $40 for you. That's $40. You spent 10 and you're getting $40 back. If you bring in somebody else who's at the 10, that's $2 back. Hey, that's not bad. That's $8 away from you making your money back. So that's how you have to look at things. It's not that, oh, I have to spend money. No, you're investing. Spending money means going out and trying to buy that new Note 8 for $930, or getting those Jordans, or getting the new iPhone. That's another $700, $800. That's spending money. Going out and buying a new TV that just came out. Going out and buying like unnecessary business. So eventually you have to sit down with yourself and say, hey, I need to separate these needs from these wants, because these wants ain't paying none of my bills. These needs is something that's going to pay my bills. And yes, I said it exactly how I said. I said what I said. You need to think about it. You an adult. You a grown person. I'm not in the convincing game. If I'm going to sit there and convince you with something, I'm going to have to get paid to do it. So I'm not convincing nobody of nothing. This is your business. But see, the best part about being on this team is, even though you're in the business for yourself, you don't have to be in the business by yourself. You will have us. We will be here every step of the way, training you, showing you, making sure that you get your money as long as you are accountable, coachable, and trainable. That's it. That's all we ask for. Nothing else. So if you come in for 10 and you take advantage of this double postcard auto ship, so you get an advantage. You have $10 to come in and $60 for the auto ship. That's like less than $100 right there. Boom, you have 200 postcards with names written on them. Pop that on there, put some stamps, gone about your business. You handle it, because this is offline and this is online. So if you suck at offline, take advantage of that. That online, take advantage of offline. If you have a problem with talking to people and looking them in the face, take advantage of online. It's so versatile. But I don't want to hear no more excuses talking about you don't have $10, because you know good and well you can find that $10. There was this dude, I know I'm off track, but I'm going in because I've been reading the free chat, and I'm just like, are you serious? Because there was this homeless man, and he's legit homeless. He's not like one of those people who have a home and they just literally just ask for money just because it's free. He's actually homeless. He has 23 cats, and yes, 23 of those cats. It's cool because the cats follow him. They walk on a leash. They are like super duper trained. He gets them to sit, stay, lay down like a dog. And what he does is he also paints, and he also draws. And he doesn't have a home, but he always has enough to feed himself, and that's because he takes time, sits down, and thinks about what he wants and what he wants to do. And he was like, I don't want a home. I don't want to be in society, and that's fine. But he knows that he needs to eat, and he needs to feed these cats. So he puts on a show with the cats, and people give him money. Boom, done. He makes about maybe $30-40 a day. He's not begging people for money. He's actually taking time, figuring out how he can come up with money so he can do his needs. If he can do it, anywho. So, just food for thought. That's all. This is just food for thought. I'm not grilling nobody or nothing. Like I said, you are absolutely grown. You can make decisions on what you want to do. So, to the company announcements, the double postcards, like I said, you register this week for 100, 200, 500 or more postcard auto ships. You get double postcards every month that you stay on auto ship forever. But what's cool is you can cancel anytime. So if it does get a little bit of hardship, which I understand, you can cancel anytime. So, look, 200 postcards for $67. 400 postcards for $128, 1,000, and they just came in with those 2 new postcards, and I had to grab that nice one where it says start and market your own profitable home-based business with the beach and everything. Yeah, you can hear them right here. I got a whole bunch of them. And again, people, if somebody orders postcards and you're downline on this auto ship order, guess what happens? You get postcard matching. So if say Irwin has Susie on his team, and Susie decides to take advantage of this and gets that 100 postcards, so she's going to get 200 postcards, Irwin is going to get 200 postcards. That's the way it works. Absolutely free, automatically right to your door. And you're going to have postcards with, obviously, people want to make sure to get the ones with the names on them. So you're going to have postcards with names on them. You just slap them stamps on, and you're good to go. So, yeah, the little cat's dancing and everything. This is a pretty good sale. And like he said, he's actually not just like the team special. That ain't coming back. This ain't coming back. So tomorrow is the last day. Do what you got to do. Come up with some postcards, and you're good to go. Because this is called Postcard Networker. So, again, the team special, just a reminder, team special, anyone who's an Elite Plus is already qualified. So any Elite Plus member gets 1 sheet of 20 postcard stamps, 100 postcard leads. You also get the digital flyer, which I'm still coming up with. I had a rough draft I sent to Shailene. But, yeah, so Elite members will receive 1 sheet of postcard stamps and 100 postcard leads. And then entrepreneur members will just receive the 20, they're not postcard leads, they're just regular leads with email addresses and everything. And so also the first 5, so it'd be 4 more spots left for the Elite Plus. If you come in as an Elite Plus and upgrade, you'll get the cool 100 personalized labels to go on your blank postcards, which I designed and came up with. It's kind of cool because it has, you know, you have to put in the access code, and your access code is your username. So it has your access code, and then it just has like a little saying on it. And actually, this is kind of what it looks like. Those of you on the phone, you're just gonna have to look. So yeah, time is absolutely running out on this, but it's pretty neat. So, and again, postcard leads are people who have purchased a home-based kit through mail. They have responded and have used their credit card to pay for home business startup. They spent anywhere from $95 to $1,000. So these are people you really want on your team because they know what it takes to invest. So they're proven buyers and not lookers. So yep, time is running out. So I'm going to unmute the call because we're going to start diving into the team training. So I'm going to unmute the phone. Anybody who has questions, go ahead and ask them. If you have questions. All right. So continuing on, this is where we're going to get in with the team training. This is where it's going to be the meat and the potatoes of the call. So basically, again, we're going to go over offline training. I actually did a whole video on it. So if you want a refresher, I'm not going to go over absolutely everything, but yeah. So offline marketing, just like I said earlier, don't forget this is an offline business. You don't have to be a business professional to market offline. You really don't. Using the same formula for online marketing, you'll have it like down pat, like you will. It was punch. So same formula. Interest peak, message sent, prospect satisfied. I mean, it's pretty cool. Offline marketing is really, in my opinion, it's cool because it gives you more versatility with your business. You'll have a chance to actually show more people than you normally would online. Because see, when you're doing online, there is so many different things depending on the platform you're using, because I went through a Facebook class recently. So like somebody on our team had their account closed, and it was probably 9 out of 10 times by Facebook. Depending on the wording you're using, how many times you're posting, where you're posting, your account can either get closed, your ad won't be sent or seen, or be buried. So a lot of times what most people do is just copy and paste formula, where like they'll have something and they'll copy it and then paste it and then send it and just keep doing it, and then everybody on the same team does the same thing, and eventually what happens is that post gets marked as spam, and you're thinking it's sent, it's good, but it's getting limited amount of views and more and more and more until eventually it's flagged as spam. So that's, for me, that's one of the many things that for online, it's like, okay, cool, you can do stuff, but then it's like, you know, it's kind of limiting is what I'm trying to say. So online marketing, you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about pretty much anything as far as, you know, getting blocked and things like that. So without further ado, we're going to go into a little bit about offline marketing. And I'm going to start in the training. Again, if you want the whole offline marketing, it is in the back. It is in the team training section of the website. So online marketing is pretty cool. So I'm going to go over a little bit as to why to use it, what are some methods, how to effectively approach people, how to sell without selling, and what the heck is form, and fast food. But I'm not going to go over fast food. I'm going to have you watch the video for that, and you're thinking fast food? Like no, fast food, giving the information fast. So you're going to have to look at the video for that. So offline marketing is just doing what you simply do online is offline. So one of the reasons why to use it is simply because we're all human, right? I mean, we're not online all the time. Yesterday I went to water park with my family. Hey, I don't have one of those new phones where you can just drop it in the water and everything's good to go. I have an S7 which you can get wet, but I didn't want to, I didn't want to risk it. That phone, like again earlier, is like $600-700. Ain't nobody got time for that. So I'm offline. That's what offline is. So even though there's social media, it really doesn't make us very social outside of what we're doing now. And when you think about it, right now we're offline, even though I'm sharing my screen on the computer, even though, we just talked on Facebook Messenger, we're offline. We're off of Facebook Messenger. I want you to think like that. We're listening. We have the human voice. It's super powerful. These team calls, videos, all of that. The human voice is one of the most powerful and effective tools along with your face. Your face says it everything. Your emotions, your everything lays on your face. People usually can assume certain things just by looking at you. So if you have one of those faces where you look kind of mean, but you're like a sweet person, 9 out of 10 times people are going to assume that you are mean and they're not going to want to talk to you, even though you're probably the sweetest person in the world. That says a lot about our face. Then when you actually approach people and you use your voice, you'll actually get more people listening to you depending on how your voice tone is, the pitch, everything else. Yes, I did a whole thing on this. So like, for example, there was a study that Cambridge College did versus the male voice and the female voice doing different pitches, different tones, different scenarios. So out of all of the studies, women ranked higher when we are in distress, when we are happy, and when we're crying. Men ranked higher when they use an assertive, more aggressive tone, like, hey, get on over here kind of tone. But when you hear a woman cry, like, oh my gosh, you're immediately going to try to figure out what it is, regardless if it sounds annoying to you. You're going to be more nosy. You're going to have more interest in whatever's going on with that woman because you're going to be like, hey, what's going on? What you doing over there? So again, the human voice is one of the most powerful and effective tools. So along with you using your voice, your face and everything goes into play. See, when you're on social media, when you're online, you don't see any of that. Even though you have the video and the Facebook Live, it's like it captures it, but it's nothing like having that face-to-face, human-to-human interaction where you're actually having body posture, when you're actually in your natural element offline and everything else. So, like I said, in fact, people already determine within 7 seconds whether you want to make a conversation with you or not, just from your face and demeanor. If you coming over all slouchy and looking like hot mess and you just, oh, okay, hey guys, what are you doing? Nobody want to talk to you because you sound like a Debbie Downer and nobody wants to interact. So when you're offline, I'm going to show you all the techniques about form and posture and everything else. So created a cool infographic, and that's all in the back office. On the team. I keep saying back office, on the team website. So yeah. So some methods to use for offline is a ton that you don't even have to use your face. You don't have to talk to people if you don't want to, which you know, some people don't, which is fine. There's a ton of ways. Again, like I said, there's over 44 different ways. Like I made a list of 44 different ways to market offline. Flyers, business cards, coupons, magnets, just all kinds of everything. Team meetings, like personal one-on-one meetings, newspaper articles, like just everything. So you can actually put these like at the grocery store, the mall, the arcade, the auto body shop, traveling, like anywhere. It does not matter. So it's funny because it's a true story. I spoke to someone who they're a six-figure earner, and they started like, you know, like me and you, just doing whatever. And he was saying like one of the biggest breaks he had was when he had a team, like, you know, the company retreats or whatever, where like the company has like their little events or whatever. So he was staying in the hotel, and he was, you know, in the hotel. He's by himself, minding his own business. He was taking some calls. He was doing some prospect calls and everything. And he was saying that he was like, I guess like the hotel he was at was kind of cheap, and so the walls were a little thin. So when he was like talking to prospects and doing his little spiel and all of that stuff, I guess somebody next door was hearing, because while he was doing, because one of the things that I like to do that he does, a lot of top earners do, is they practice their spiel. And they practice their posture, they practice their everything, because that's really what it's about: active repetition, consistency, and practice. So while he was at the hotel, he was getting ready to leave out. And so then somebody came from next door. They stopped him and was like, "Hey, what's going on in there? I thought you were like having a meeting or whatever. You sounded excited or whatever." And so he was like, "Yeah, I was just, you know, doing something for my business. I'm here for a business meeting. I mean, for my company. I'm here for a company meeting, company retreat." And it was funny because he was like, "Man, that sounds really good. It sounds cool. Like whatever you're doing, it sounds cool." And so he said, "I want to hear more." And he said, "Okay, great. When do you have time?" He said, "I have time after lunch." So he was like, "Okay, whatever. You know, maybe he's not going to come back." So he goes and leaves and comes back, and he's in his room, and he hears a knock on the door, and the man was there, and he was like, "Hey, what's this about? Show me." And he recruited him, and he ended up being a six-figure earner, and the rest is history. And it's just funny because you have to think about that. That was all offline. He didn't have social media. He didn't show him a video. He didn't show him anything. All the man heard was his voice, his excitement, you know, all of that. And that's what attracted the person. So I want you to think about that when you're talking to someone, because they cue in on that excitement. They cue in on that voice, and they're wondering, like, what is this? What's going on? And, you know, whatever. And then they get nosy. So he got lucky, just so you know. I mean, it could happen, but he got lucky. One of the how to effectively approach people is pretty simple. Basically, just don't be creepy. Just don't stare at them, but make eye contact. But don't just like blatantly stare at them. You know, just like, "Hey, I'm gonna stare you down" kind of situation. Look around, be observant. Meaning like, if you see two people are talking, you can like, and it's like a room where you can hear their conversation, because you don't have to be like, again, don't be creepy and eavesdrop and say, "Hey, I heard you talking about your skin rash." But you basically want to be observant and just cue in. Sometimes there's people who are like out there who have conversations about their current job situation. "Oh man, I lost my job," or "Oh man, my hours were cut," or "They're doing this wrong," or "They're doing that wrong." You know, those kind of things. So people will cue in on their situation without really knowing it, because it's that frustrating. And usually people who are doing that and openly outward saying it are super fed up and ready to do something else. So you know, that's something that, you know, that's a nugget for the day. I mean, because if you're really frustrated with something, you're not going to just keep it bottled up. You're going to like actively talk about how frustrated you are with that situation. So look around, be observant. If you're going to get your phone fixed at your store and you know, some people are talking, just kind of like listen and, hey, this is what's going on, whatever. Another way is asking if you can help with something. Sorry, I got thirsty. So, like if somebody's trying to put groceries in their car, strike up a conversation, but don't be forceful. Don't try to weasel in places you just plain don't belong. Usually people will tell you, like they'll give you hints, like, okay, I don't want to, you know, entice in this conversation. It's a hit or miss. It really is. Don't try to force or lock someone into a conversation, because that's the worst thing you can do, because then you're going to come off as the creepy, oh my goodness, I don't want to talk to you, I'm going to avoid you kind of person, like this dude at Staples. And I'm like, I don't want to have a conversation with you. Like, I was funny because you'll hear it on my actual call. On my training for offline, I have no idea how I have a family or how I'm able to talk to people, because to blatantly say it, I like people, but I don't like to deal with people a lot. I don't know how else to say it. It's not like, oh, I can't stand people, I'm going to do people wrong or all of that. But for the most part, I just like to be alone. I like to be left alone. I like to just kind of have my own thing going on. And, you know, because when other people are involved, all these different scenarios and situations come up. And that's, for me, I just don't like messy. And that's usually what happens when you have a bunch of people. And then you have people like this who try to force you or lock you into a conversation. And I just find any and every single thing to do to get out of that conversation, even if it's okay, yeah, sure, I'll do this. And I want you to think about that, because, like, for example, this dude at Staples, every single time we go to Staples, it's like, don't get me wrong, dude is cool. He's not like, you know, mean or nothing. It's just, for me, he's not compatible. Like, our personalities are not compatible. And then he's like, you know, forcing us into a conversation when we're literally just trying to go to Staples and go. And he works there, and he's the manager, so it's like he's always there. So we end up going to different Staples. So when you're doing a conversation with someone, make sure that they want to have the conversation too. And I'll show you how to do that with form and everything else. But yeah, just think about that, because sometimes people literally just don't want to have a conversation. It has nothing to do with you or who you are. In his case, it has something to do with him, because I did have a conversation. I'm not saying I'm being mean. I did actually have a conversation with him, and like, our personalities just don't click. Like, you know, so now we're having keep on having interactions, and I don't want to have. But mostly just don't give up. Because just because that one person didn't want to talk to you doesn't mean the next person won't. How to sell without selling. Kids, keep it super simple. Stay patient. Don't be desperate. If someone says no, don't be dumb. Stay calm and thank them. So if someone says, no, this is not going to do for me, okay, well, thank you. Bless your life. And keep it moving, because you're going to be remembered as that person who took the rejection well, as opposed to the person who took the rejection awful and said, this is the best opportunity ever, and you're missing out on this opportunity, and da-da-da-da-da-da. Don't Kanye West this company ever. Don't Kanye West any company. I don't care. You know, when he went up to the awards and took the award from Taylor Swift saying, I'm going to let you finish, but Beyonce is the best, this and that. It's like, okay, that's great. That's your opinion. That's not mine. You know what I mean? So don't Kanye West your business. Don't ever do that, like ever. And if somebody says no, stay calm, thank them, and move on. Pure and simple. Because in the end of the day, you literally can make money doing anything. So it's not about having the best business. It's not about having the best comp plan. It's not about how much money you can make. It's about the fact that, can you get time, freedom, and is this something going to be compatible with this person? Again, Make sure the person is comfortable by staying comfortable, and try again. Notice how I'm saying don't give up and try again, because it's very true. Offline marketing is just like online marketing, except the difference is it's in your face as opposed to on the computer. It's a little tough. So, you know, those of you who aren't comfortable with the people and all of that, then you want to make sure that you go ahead and just do the 44 ways to market without talking to people, because majority of those are just like, you know, ways to leave your flyer or business card. And since we have these blank postcards, you can leave them anywhere. They're freaking beautiful. I love them. So again, what the heck is form? So this is the way to entice a conversation and not force people to have a conversation. FORM stands for family, occupation, recreation, and message. Family, for those of you writing it down, family, occupation, recreation, and message. Remember how I said earlier that you are the messenger. You are never the whole message. You are just delivering this information for the person to find out if this is what they want, which makes it the message. You're just the messenger. Hey, I found this. Let me show you. That's all you're doing, no matter what you're doing, online, offline, sideways, upside down, doesn't matter. You are the messenger. Don't ever try to deliver the message, because you can get it all cloudy. I don't care how many years you've been in this industry, you can get it all over the place. So, family, right? Family, these are questions to get someone to talk about themselves. You also learn more about the person. Of course, you don't want a one-sided conversation when you're prospecting or you're talking to people. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's online, offline. So be sure to share brief snippets with your prospects, especially if you share commonalities. So for me, my go-to offline, well, I'm a woman. I'm going to talk to women. I'll talk to a man. It depends on a lot of like different things. My go-to for me is older women, because, and I learned this from my mom, they ain't got time for no games. They have no time for foolery and all this mess. But they love to talk. And especially me being younger than them, they want to educate. They want to show. They want to hear what the younger generation is doing majority of the time. Side note, the person at Staples that just keeps forcing me to have a conversation, he's an older man. So again, we don't have pretty much anything in common. I find that for some reason I identify with the older generation, and I think it's because my parents are older. They had me when they were older. They listen to Marvin Gaye. Like, I grew up on 70s music and, you know, things like that. So I identify with that generation a little bit more than my own. I'll talk to the younger generation, but it's hard for me to identify because I don't really think the way they think. So, for example, you find your someone has a commonality. When you're looking at people, what do you see on the outside that's common? Do you see someone where they have kids, and do you have kids? Do you live in this neighborhood? So it could be somewhere in the neighborhood that you go to, like the post office, the grocery store, your neighborhood grocery store, farmer's market, whatever. Do you have kids? How old are your kids? It could also be someone at your work. You guys have a commonality there. But you'll find out if they have kids, if they live in your neighborhood and things like that. So make sure when you're talking to someone, you can find like some of the outside commonalities. Like, hey, they have a nice watch. I'll have a conversation with them. I like that watch. Where you get that watch from? And then you can start, hey, oh yeah, my name is blah, 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 and stuff like that. And then you can have conversations about that watch that eventually, because that watch costs money, so you're going to start talking about kids, family, things like that. Occupation. Occupation is a chance to talk to them about their job, what it's all about, but really your chance to engage their information or situation. Also, when you ask someone what they do, they'll usually ask you what you do. But be sure you don't vomit all over the person with your business opportunity. This is your chance to give them your 30-second or less overview of the company. This is not the time to pitch your business, but it's a chance to share your benefits if you've been able to help with others. So what does that mean? That means this is not your chance to say, oh, I get paid selling postcards and I do this and that. That's vomiting. You don't want to do that. So say, for example, I'm speaking to Janice. I already engaged the conversation with Janice. We talked about her shoes because they were cute. I liked them. Hey, these shoes are nice. You know, we had a conversation. Oh, girl, where you get them shoes? Those are nice. Girl, I got these at Payless. They were on sale. Say, what? They were on sale at Payless? I go to Payless all the time with my daughter. Oh, really? I go to Payless all the time with my daughter, and, you know, I like to get her some dress shoes and everything. Girl, yeah. But, you know, because Payless is out of my budget, so I go there, you know. So Janice will tell me that because now we're talking occupation. You see how the conversation automatically goes there? So occupation, really, your job? Like, oh, what is it that you do? Oh, you know, I work at the Walmart street. I'm only getting paid $9 an hour, and you know, I barely got time to take care of, be there with my daughter. It's very annoying. You know, I just don't like it. Like, that's frustrating. I'm like, oh yeah, you know, yeah, I understand that, man. I used to do that. I used to work at McDonald's. I would always sit there and be working long hours. The manager would make us do our, yes, this is a true story. The managers would make us do our breaks and everything at the end of our shift. So we would work the whole shift, and then at the end, for that last hour, that was my time for my break and my rest. Yes, horrible. Lunch and break, meant to say. And she'd be like, ooh, that's real bad. What is it that you do now? Oh, you know, I'm just currently working on my own business. I've partnered with a company that pays me to mail postcards. Really? Yeah, it's real cool. It's real easy. It's simple. It's all offline, so I don't have to have a whole bunch of things going on. And, you know, I can do it on my spare time. This is fun. I'm literally having a conversation with her about joining my business, but at the same time, she's getting information, we're getting information, we're engaging in a conversation. It's very casual. You notice I wasn't forcing her to look at nothing. I piqued her interest. This is where you're piquing her interest. So again, some of the questions be, what do you do for work? How long you been working there? What do you wish you can do instead? You know, those kind of things. So I already did the family. I already did the occupation in that whole, 10 seconds of talking. And then you have recreation. What is recreation? Recreation is a great question to ask more information about disposable income. Asking a person what they do for fun, where they like to go for vacation is so super easy. So again, I'll be like, well, we already had the conversation about shoes, Payless, her job. She asked me what I do. And I'm like, yeah, you know, it gives me time to have more fun. What is it that you like to do for fun? Oh, girl, I like to go to the beach with my babies and we have fun and, you know, and go on about your business. So if you had all the time in the world, or you can ask, like, if you had all the time in the world, what would you do? It depends on the conversation or where it's going. If you had all the money in the world, what would you do? How much would it take for you to do it? Whatever. But recreation is pretty much self-explanatory. You're asking a person if they had, you know, if they had more disposable income, if they can do what they really want to do, what would it be? So you can have an idea. Then, of course, now, after you already went through the family, occupation, recreation, and the message. So family, we already talked about Payless, her job, which was the occupation. Recreation, she said she would spend all day at the beach. And I'll tell her, girl, I do the same because I love the beach. So with my job, I'm able to do that. So, hey, you know, Janice, I enjoyed talking with you. I see you really dislike your job. The fact that they're having you spend all these hours away from your child is just not right. So, but I need to get going. I mean, I have an appointment, but I'm free at 4 p.m. tomorrow. Give me a number. I'll call you and share some information about what I'm currently doing because it might help you. You never know. And if it doesn't, girl, we can still catch up and still connect. Or you can say, give me your email and I'll send the information. But you see how I finished it up? I glued it all together because I listened to the conversation. This is what's going on. So at the end of the conversation, you want to deliver your message. This entire conversation while doing this prospecting message only take a few minutes. It literally took a few minutes. We started at 3:39. It took like 6 minutes. Using key things you learned in the conversation is important. Parting message might be something like what I just did or something different. You can even just say, hey, give me your email. I'll email you some information, but you might want to get the phone number, especially if you really like the person. Or if you want, you can actually, in the video, you want to look at fast food, show you how you can show them the presentation, and you can probably get them closed out that same day, depending on how it works. But offline, that's actually like talking to people offline and seeing like what it is that you can do and get them in there. And it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun, actually. It's once you get the hang of it, you just have to keep trying. You have to, don't give up. Like, just don't give up. Just keep trying, keep looking at the situation, keep assessing it, seeing what you could have done differently to, you know, make sure you're comfortable with doing this conversation. I've done this for a long time, so of course I'm comfortable doing this situation. And it's funny because now I do it so much that it's hard to turn it off. And I'm just talking to people and just engaging in conversations and all kinds of things. And I'm over here talking about, I don't, you know, want to deal with people, but I'm over here dealing with people. It's funny. But yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to unmute the line. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. And the line is unmuted. Any
Hello,
questions?
I got a question.
Yes.
All right. So this whole time we was having this whole conference call, I done sent out like over 50 information to like different people. And you know what? I just want to say something real quick. I got. You want to speak your mind? I got. I think everybody got it. I got an email from the owners or whatever, and it was just telling you like the proper way to approach people, how to talk to them, stuff like that. So I copied and pasted, all right, and I shared it with like a few different groups, and I got like numerous of requests. So whatever they telling us to do, it works. Put in the work. That's all we gotta do. Put in the effort and put in the work. It works. It's right there for us. We ain't gotta beat around the bush about it. We ain't really gotta make up our own thing, to be honest. I mean, if you want to be more creative and stuff like that, all right, that's fine. But something's already made to succeed. You know, you don't have to treat it like the government system. We ain't gotta play with it.
Exactly. No, exactly. You're right, KJ, because trying to reinvent the wheel, trying to beat around the bush, sometimes just being direct and straightforward works. But primarily it works online because, again, when you're online, here's the information. They are right there. They can get it instantly. When you're offline, it's kind of different, especially if you're having a conversation, because you want to make sure this person is going to actually see the information because in the end of the day, if you treat it offline like online and you're sitting up there just saying, oh, here, look at my business. Oh, here, look at my business. You know what I mean? Or being a little more direct with it and saying, hey, I have a business. Would you be interested in doing it? More than likely, you're going to get a little more no's than you would actually get yeses. But with this technique for the offline, actually like seeing the person face to face, using the form and everything else is something that, you know, kind of gets you more. Actually, they do. They get you more people with relationship marketing than you would normally get from just, you know, sending people the information. But yeah, that's true. And, you know, that's one of the things that I love about this business is the training is just phenomenal. Like, it's beautiful because Joel and Christian, they've been doing this for years. They've been doing this longer than me. And the fact that they build a business from doing it and you're getting a chance to learn more about it makes it so much easier. But yeah, true, very true. And congratulations to your success, KJ. Nice to know you're not giving up.
Nah, that's a whole nother story. You feel what I'm saying? I remain humble in any situation I'm in. You feel what I'm
Right.
saying? But if it's fine, like the people that I'm adding to the group right now, is it okay for them to come in if they have any questions that they want to ask?
You know what? Yeah, go ahead. I'll open up the call at the end, and we can definitely get these questions and stuff. It'll help you get some people closed out.
Okay. Just in case if they really have any questions, because it's not.
Yeah, just tell them hop on the call. I'll mute the line, and they can go over because I'm actually getting ready to do the mindset training. But yeah, definitely.
Okay.
So is there any more questions?
Was.
Yes.
Hey, this is Owen. I just got I don't have a question, but I do have a comment.
Yeah, go ahead.
Kind of touching bases as far as what you were saying about talking to people compared to throwing your opportunity at them.
Yeah.
I actually have been in online marketing since I want to say for 5 years. That would be what, 2012, 2013, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I started out with hopefully I won't be well, I'll put it like this. I started out with a company that's well known, and a lot of people have been calling it a scam and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay.
But when I first got into it, I actually didn't know how to talk to people. I still don't like doing video, but I'll do a screen share with my voice behind it. But as far as talking to people, you don't want to just talk to people. You don't want to just pitch them. You want to build that relationship with that individual before you do anything.
Exactly.
You know, 'cause people, online that is. Offline is totally different. You know, you can turn around, give them a flyer and all that good stuff. But online, it's basically building a relationship and finding out what their needs are. Not so much as their wants, but what their needs are. Because they might be already an online business, and they might need leads. They might need a website built, whatever the case may be. With this postcard program, you can actually get them in and get them on the right foot, and then they'll eventually learn where they can get whatever they need to get. As far as leads is concerned, the leads are already given to us, but it's up to the person that receives the card to actually get in with the card. So when it all boils down, my whole thing is this: feel comfortable talking to people. Build a relationship with people. That know, like, and trust, that is real. That's all I have to say.
You know what? No, I love that. Thank you so much for that. And it's very true. I want to touch on that because a lot of people think when you get into a business, everything's just supposed to just pop, 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 pop. Yeah,
No.
You can do that, but you can have success from it. However, you won't have long-lasting success because, like Erwin said, you need to build that rapport with that person because you need to know what it is that they need, what it is that they're missing. See, I have all these people on my team, and if I treated every single person as I treat Erwin or as I treat KJ, because KJ and Erwin are two different people, two different amount of time in network marketing, two different experience levels. Erwin might need this and KJ might need that. But if you actually take the time, build the rapport with that person, and, like this is exactly what they need. Like Erwin said, you're going to build the relationship that's going to last you because you're going to have people who are going to look up to you and say, hey, you know what? You took the time to learn what I need. You supplied what I need. You made sure I was taken care of versus, oh, you're just bringing in a bunch of people and now I'm whatever, like I feel like I'm just another number to you, and they're not going to stick around because if they don't feel like you actually care about what they're going through, this is why I do what I do, because if you guys don't feel like which I do, I actually care about you and your success, as I always say on every call, but if I treated you as just another name in my back office, you guys probably would not be around long, even if the company is like the best company in the world, because you have like the worst upline in the world. You know what I mean? So yes, I love that you said with Erwin. That is very true. Building rapport, like I said, forum, family, occupation, recreation, and message. Yes. Because even though you have a bunch of people who are looking, doesn't mean that they're going to stay or sign up.
Another thing, not to cut you off, but another thing, when you are pitching or when you finally get to that point where you can pitch your opportunity to that person and you explain it to them fully, you will definitely not see them jump. 9 times out of 10, you won't see them jump straight in. It'll normally take anywhere from 7 to 10 times for them to see your opportunity, your business, your whatever. And then they'll be like, oh, well, they're still doing this, so they must be making something or they must be doing something right. Then 9 times out of 10, they will get in.
Has started.
Sorry, I tapped the wrong button. But, yeah, that is so true. Absolutely true. And that's why you need to have a system, actually. And that's actually in our system section on our website, which one that I use is Prosperity Central. Because, like you said, it takes a person, sometimes actually longer. Some people take, I was actually talking to Joel, and very interesting. I mean, that is the most interesting conversation I ever had, because he is probably one of the most different CEO I've ever dealt with, who just acts like one of the guys, like he's real cool. And he was saying that he had someone that was just sitting there on the fence, and they took him about a year for them to actually get in and start going, because he has the autoresponder that's on our company when they come in for the leads. From the capture page, they're already sending to the company autoresponder, and they're sending these emails like forever. If you want to see what he sends them, just create your own, with your own separate email and just go in through your thing, and you can see what he sends them, and it's just sending them forever, and they're at a nice time. And he was saying it took him like a whole year for them to get in, because that's a long time. That's 12 months of just getting in and getting these emails like every single day. There's an email from Postcard Networker. So yeah, that's 365 days of just watching these emails. So yes, that's very, very true. Very, very true. Thank you so much for that, Erwin. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
So any other questions that we have before we get on to the mindset training? Okay, cool. So we're going to continue with the mindset training, which is generally mindset training. What I want to talk about with our mindset training this week is learning when to ignore and move on. And one of the hardest things to do in this opportunity is learning when to ignore. It is very hard. When I first started, I didn't know anything about ignoring and literally going in my own lane. I honestly, eventually started feeling alienated. I felt like I was a mutant. I felt like I didn't know what was happening. I just felt like I was just off. I didn't know, this was all new, the whole experience. And when you're starting out with network marketing, whether this is your 5th year, 10th year, whatever, you still have to make sure your mindset is everlasting, changing, and growing, because you can become stagnant at any time. So, like it says, nothing changes until mindset changes. Health is a creative act. And it's so true. So what it means is learning when to ignore is you need to learn when to ignore. You don't need other people's opinions to be yourself. You don't need others' permission to go after the goals you choose. These are your goals. This is your life. This is what you choose. You know what happens when you get rid of naysayers, like when people who are sitting up there saying you can't do this and that and all of that, more will pop up, because that's just the way life is. You're literally taking, when you join network marketing, you are taking a chance and actually going against the grain of what everybody else says is not the norm. So this very once wealthy man, like I talked to him, I think he's a 7th, I don't know. For me, figures doesn't matter. But what he told me is, it's so funny. Once he told me that, you know what happens when you get kicked in the rear, right? That simply means you're ahead and others are nipping behind you. And it's so true. When you have the higher you go, the more haters, the more naysayers you'll have, unfortunately. You have to learn when to ignore them. So that means you are simply ahead and others are nipping behind you. If you live your life trying to gain support and gain approval of others, then you are not truly living the life of your own purpose. Everybody tonight has a purpose. Everybody on this earth has a purpose. Everybody has a goal, has a dream. You see your vision. You know where you want to go. It is not up to Tom, Dick, Harry, and Susan to determine your destination. You take the time to figure out where you want to go. You took that time. They didn't take that time. You know where you want to go. You have to simply keep on and ignore the naysayers that tell you that this is not going to work. Who are they? Again, I did a video called Who Are They? And those are the days. They are the people who tell you you can't do this, or they tell you that this is a scam, or they tell you that this is wrong, when you know that your vision is never wrong because it's something that you see in your life to achieve. Learn when to ignore and move on, right? You learn when to ignore and keep striving because you never know who is supporting you behind the scenes. Just when you think that you're giving up, there's somebody who's right there ready to cheer you on, and you never know who it is until it's time for them to come out. Learn to ignore learn to ignore and what to focus your life is more peaceful, right? I mean, it's absolutely peaceful. When you start ignoring those people who just want to continue doing the norm, that's them. That's what they want to do. You know that you are destined for more. So when you learn to ignore those others and all of that mess, and you start living, when you start living your life to the way you envision, you'll start living more peaceful, having more soundful sleep than worrying about what Harry said the other day or Sally said the other day. My family to this day, they see me make money. You know, I have never once asked them for rent money. I've never once asked them for this, and they still tell me, oh, you're still doing that? Why don't you go get a job? Why? I'm already making enough to support and get everything going. Why? They don't see my vision. That's why. And I love my family. I'm going to still continue with my family because they're my family. I care about them. They care about me. They only think they're doing well for what they see for me to do, not what I see myself doing. You see what I mean? So I learned to ignore and just move on. Okay, great. That's nice. You know, it's just one of those things where, you know, life goes on. I wake up, I'm chilling, I'm, you know, living my life at the end of the day because they're over there and I'm over here. The wealthy man once said to learn when to ignore so you don't have to go through a battle that is not needed. You don't need to battle with these people. You don't. Don't battle that you don't live. Don't do battles that you know that you can just avoid by just ignoring because it's not worth it. Like, again, learn when to ignore and achieve your dreams. So with that being said, I'm going to unmute the line, and anything from what we covered, you guys can add on or have comments or questions, and then we'll go ahead and close this call out. The line is unmuted. All right, so with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end this call. Thank you again. This has been one of the most interesting calls I've ever done. Again, next Sunday, same time, same place. Thank you again for being on this call.